With Vikram, with Anurag Kashyap, they're like my core team, like my family. Sanwaar Loon being like an ode to S.D. Burman, tribute to S.D. Burman. All very challenging projects, wherein scripts that were given to me, right from Amir, cut to Dave D. Aiyyaa was a completely experimental zone of making item songs. English was because Balki sir, when he called me and first read the narration, I was floored. Vikramaditya Motwane is my favorite director. Just love him and love working on his films, love working on his music. Earlier we had done Udaan, which was critically acclaimed, and another one we've done together. And as far as response is concerned, I don't know because I've been so caught up with work, so I haven't gotten the time to check that out. With Vikram, with Anurag Kashyap, they're like my core team, like my family. It's not never a brief as such. The writing is so powerful. The scripts that I get, I read those scripts. A lot of inspiration comes from there. So I just follow his references, his vision, his brief. That's what in Lootera, what happened in Udaan and again in Lootera. Basic brief was it's set in West Bengal, and it's set in 1950s, that era, which is S.D. Burman, Salilda sound, R.D. Burman sound. So that's kind of the world that we have tapped into for this film. There are a total of 6 songs in the film. Sanwaar Loon being like an ode to S.D. Burman, it's tribute to S.D. Burman. As well as Ankahi is kind of Ijazat kind of a sound. There's R.D. Burman and Gulzar Saab kind of. And there's Manmarziya, which is again very ethnic. It's got a very ethnic Indian sound. Then there is Montare. Montare is again it's got a very Baul, Bengali folk feel to it. Then there are 2 songs which are slightly contemporary, which is out and out rock. So in total there are 6 songs. It's a very tough question because I've started off with all very challenging projects, wherein scripts that were given to me, right from Amir, cut to Dave D. Film itself never had any situation or any item songs, typical romantic songs kind of a vibe. The filmmakers were not like that. So I started off like that. So when you start off like that, that kind of became my sound and style, and it's continuing. So I'm only attracting those kind of filmmakers and those kind of story writers who believe something experimental, something more edgier. We can go to this guy, so that's become like a norm. But that's not the case. I do my job. My job is to do my best.
Right.
So when a script is given to me, or when a job is given in hand, and that's what I've been doing, that's it. I really don't know, it's going out and it becoming like that's become the sound of Bollywood and or lots of things. The next day, Rahman, and got a lot of such adjectives I get to hear. But it's never it's not in my head or in my hands. Aiyyaa because of Mr. Kashyap. Kashyap is like my mentor. So it's because he wanted me to do that film. So I just did it for him, and Sachin is a dear friend now. He's a fabulous director, national award winner. So we saw a lot of potential. So that's what that whole energy was, that we should go ahead and do. And again, Aiyyaa was a completely experimental zone of making item songs. It was an item song space. There were a lot of but there was Lavani, there was Izzat Papad, there was Brimam Vekabam. It was all again coming from the characters, from the plot of the film. A South Indian guy, a typical Maharashtrian middle class woman who falls in love with a South Indian guy, and she wants to learn Tamil, so that she watches Midnight Masala. If that's the brief, and she dreams of a song in that 80s Midnight Masala kind of a vibe, then I'm only looking at the brief. I'm not looking at what people are thinking item song banaya, ye kya banaya, iska sound badal gaya. I do not care about that. As I said, I do my job to the T. The job was given to me, I just did that. So I did that what 80s South Indian sound would sound like. I did my research and I did that. English was because Balki sir, when he called me and first read the narration, I was floored. The film so much on paper that I just don't, no matter what, I just want to do this. I just want to be a part of this. And that's how I did it. I like to make music that I like to hear. And I heard a lot of great stuff and a lot of great artists all around the globe. So it's not fair that अच्छा सुन के मैं कुछ भी गड़बड़ करूँ. Inherently, I would like to hear this kind of music that I'm making. So I'm not going forcing myself to do it. It's not coming, whatever naturally coming to me, I'm doing.